Man, we're a bit of a tight schedule today.
Oh yeah, but it's good. It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're live on Twitch and YouTube.
Awesome.
Twitch is currently saying art stream, but this is just chatting. And that's specifically because I can't change my thing. I've got an error code, and it's a thing that happens. It's happened to me more than once, and so it's just like the stream update crap that Twitch is like, no,
yeah,
fuck you.
Twitch
and I'm like,
doing
oh, okay.
its own thing.
Yeah, they immediately reversed their decision about the new the new rules, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. If they want to like test and then test the new policies, then they should say that they're testing the new policies. So that
it's more of like
to take them back, they can.
It's more of like they didn't wait long enough for things to settle down, and everybody got excited and just like went all over the place. But
ran with it.
That's okay. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, that happens. Twitch be twitching.
we also got the comment sections are on absolute fire right now, both on the Jordan Peterson video and on the Shad one's still going. There's a couple of videos that have some pretty Vic Mignogna, of course. So that's funny.
Of course.
So if anybody wants to have fun,
course.
we also have a video coming out after this is over at 4. So we're on a bit of a tight schedule because of that. And it's continued on into the end of the woods.
Hello.
Welcome back to DFF Friday. DFF Friday. DFF Friday.
It's going to be fun.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Dumb Fact Friday. We are here. This is gonna be a good old time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back to Dumb Fact Friday. Money, how you doing?
I am doing well. I'm gonna be shooting off on coffee in a couple of minutes, so everybody get ready. Also, Christmas is coming up soon, so that's exciting. I'm wrapping a lot of things up at my work, so that when we come back in the new year, we are not scrambling around, But it's exciting. The work is good. Finished my courses for this year, so now I am here on YouTube. I don't want to chronically or terminally live on YouTube for the next 2 weeks, but it might end up happening. So we shall see.
It do be like that sometimes, right? Or sometimes things
sometimes.
It's hard to not get dragged into shit. It's really hard to not get dragged into shit, especially when people are trying to drag you into shit. So we're gonna be talking about more about the company. The company. We love the company. Anyway, so we're gonna that'll be a little bit later on today. So if you're interested in that and what's been going on, please feel free to watch those. Because of course everything goes onto YouTube as it should be. In the meantime, we got this shit. We got the second half of Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate, and shit was just getting good. Just getting good.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put it back a little bit from where we left off.
Yeah.
And we're gonna...
Oh god, that finger to the top. We need that. Well, we need the timestamp for that.
I think our conclusion so far was that Piers Morgan is good at his job that he's been doing for a very long time, at least when dealing with somebody as vitriolic as Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate's an idiot. And he's just lying about everything, and Piers Morgan knows it. So sometimes he's holding his feet to the fire, sometimes he's like, his non-answer is an answer enough, so there's no need to hold his feet to the fire. The other thing that we have going on as well with this one is, I think I came to the conclusion that there is no way a woman could do this interview. And it's not because women aren't good at interviews, or bad at their job, or aren't as good at the job as Piers Morgan is. It's because Andrew Tate cannot have a conversation with a woman. Right? So you need somebody who is like Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan is also the kind of person who, kind of agrees with Andrew Tate on some regards when it comes to women.
He's a conservative on some things, but Andrew Tate is, on the other side of the world, into the pits of hell, kind of extreme. Extreme. So that's where, and I think and that's what I like about their conversation. It's you can be a conservative without being an asshole, you know. And Pierce Morgan
Pierce
doesn't
is
come
definitely
across
an
being
asshole. Pierce
He is, but
definitely
not
has
here.
his moments. Yeah.
Yeah, but when talking to Andrew Tate, he does express what are the fundamental differences between Andrew and him. So I like that we can make that distinction and say that he's not like Candace Owen. Let's just say.
Oh sure, yeah. All right, let's jump into this. I should make sure that you guys have audio. Oh yeah, you guys don't have audio. Hold on one second. Let me just fix this real quick.
The usual's happening, guys. The usual's happening.
I forgot about the audio. There we go. All right. Let me know you can hear this.
Here we are.
Well, 93 days was not enough with the cockroaches. I should go back. This is a matrix attack, Pierce. Every single person, every single man out there has done things worse than I've done. In fact, I will...
You wanted the pointing finger?
Yes, please. Not this one. There was one that he was pointing at the top. Like, you know, that one.
I like that that's where we started. This is a matrix attack! Right. Now I remember where we were.
Argue. If you put 99.9% of men through the level of scrutiny I've been through by multiple federal agencies, you will find a lot worse than him saying he was a pimp on the internet 9 years ago. You will find actual genuine crime. And I've done nothing. I live true to God. This is all...
I hate to be I hate to be pedantic, but being a pimp is a crime.
Dude. He's trying to like misrepresent what pimping is. He's saying that pimping is, you know, helping girls on TikTok to redirect traffic to their OnlyFans, because that's what it has become now. Before it was purely TikTok. Now it's become helping girls manage their OnlyFans and their TikToks and helping them, you know, grow their businesses, quote unquote.
I hate to be that guy, except I love to be that guy.
Yeah. So he's trying to say that he's not a pimp, but he's saying he's a pimp in the same sentence. He's just trying to misrepresent two things, you know. That's there's a term for it, if I'm not wrong. Chat, is there a term for it? Please let me know. It's not coming to my mind at the moment, but yeah.
Garbage, and
he
it's not
thinks
real.
that repeating.
Sorry.
And he thinks repeating that again and again will somehow make it true. You know, a lie told 1,000 times becomes a truth. That ain't happening in today's internet world, man.
Oh yeah, right. Misinformation everywhere.
You will find a lot worse than him saying he was a pimp on the internet 9 years ago. You will find actual genuine crime. And I've done nothing. I live true to God. This is all garbage, and it's not real.
Like I said to you, I don't know if you're guilty or not.
I do,
okay.
And I am not guilty.
No, but
it's a matrix attack.
I want to be clear to you, I'm not preempting
That's a legal
your guilt.
conclusion,
I've come
guys.
here with a completely open mind. You've been charged with serious offences.
If you watched our other
I
episodes.
am not going to...
Manya's
That's
like
a legal
spouting off
conclusion.
in-jokes now. Fuck you, I'm gonna go dox Crafty Keela.
judge you,
Keela.
because I'm not a judge. This is not a courtroom, right? But it's interesting to me that one of the biggest charges
It's a
against
good defense for
you is that you're a
Pierce.
misogynist. And you've always said, I'm not a misogynist. And then the last time I interviewed you, you said, well, I may have said some things that, you know, may have been misconstrued. But even in the last week, you've tweeted some stuff, which I'm not even sure if you're aware as you tweet this stuff, how it sounds.
Read it.
Okay, let's read. This is quite a long one.
Sure.
But I think it's important to read it to get a
Okay. Let's go, honey.
This man is ready. He's like, oh, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. And Pierce is like, okay, look, I have 99 pages of tweets that I printed out because I'm an old man.
This is good, actually, that he went for the tweets, because if you would see the previous interviews, people try to talk to him about his website. He says it's not there anymore. He just denies it. So there's no point of talking about that, because he's just gonna go deny. His tweets, though, that's his social media presence at the moment. That's the only one I think so he has at the moment. The rest is on Kick, if I'm not wrong. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I got Maxie in the chat got me. Oh my god, my biggest childhood crush, Real Monsters characters. That's so
sense of how you view women.
Absolutely.
I see you.
Any woman I date does not have a job. Okay, so the woman you're with doesn't have a job.
No.
Okay. Do you date other women?
Sometimes.
And your partner's fine with that?
Obviously.
Yeah? And you're fine with that?
Why wouldn't I be?
Well, you think it's fine to...
He didn't say yes.
Why not?
Hmm.
This is the same thing as the other guy. Who was that guy that we were like, oh, he's cheating on his wife? Who was that?
Oh,
The
Steven
one
Crowder.
with Ben Shapiro. Yeah, Ben Shapiro, like who was sitting with Ben Shapiro in his undies. Trying to put Ben Shapiro off like his track or his focus.
Because he thinks
Didn't
he's
work
funny.
at all. Yeah, didn't work at all. Actually ended up confessing a lot of things.
It's really hard to unsettle a robot.
This is like
dating other women?
Andrew Tate is now this is the most agitated I've ever seen him. Like, you don't even have to look behind those glasses to know that he's sitting there and he's like this steam coming out of his ears right now. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you date other women?
Sometimes,
And your partner's fine with that?
obviously.
Yeah? And you're fine with that?
Why wouldn't I be?
Well, you think it's fine to
wouldn't
be
I be?
dating other women when you have a
I
mother
think
and
we're
a kid?
consenting adults and everybody can make their own personal
Okay,
decisions.
fair enough. Why would I be working so hard, you say, to have
But you said you're a man of God. Sorry.
hundreds of millions for my
Wasn't
woman
he?
to waste her life in slaved pennies? No. I will give you a life you can never ever afford. Private jets, 5-star hotels, new cars, endless spending money and diamonds. You will be rich because you're praying for me every day and protecting my spirit. I work...
Has anybody talked about how Andrew Tate thinks you can buy love?
Oh yeah, that's what this chick is for the whole red pill community, right? It's like a successful man is who has a money and therefore he will attract women. But then they also downgraded to like this level of sex that love kind of does not exist almost at all, or if
Oh, okay.
it exists, it's very monetary, if I say. And I just keep on saying, yeah, go and hire a prostitute if you're really that rich and you want to like give women money to sleep around.
Well, yeah, that's not
hire
that's a business relationship at that point. But on top of that,
Yeah.
which can be fine. That can work for some people. I don't think there's any requirement that you have to be in love to have a functional living situation relationship that may or may not involve sex. Like, there's multiple ways that you can do these things. But I just think it's interesting that all of this is like it almost like he's playing it's almost like he's a caricature of Grey from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh god, no.
and,
also-
then of course all of it turns into I'm gonna buy you, but also it doesn't work, so they have to start adding on these manipulation tactics on top of it and make the women think that they're in love.
Yeah. Basically what they're saying, Andrew's saying, is that he's going to make the women in his life dependent on him, seriously dependent on him, so they can't leave. And that's an abuse tactic. Abuse tactic. And then they start doing that from the start of the relationship, saying, oh, you don't need to work. I'm working for both of us. And from there, before you know it, you're used to the lifestyle, spending money, that amount of money. And before you know it, you might be in debt. You might never know. He might have asked you to sign some papers that you might never know. He might have had credit cards or loans in your name. You may never know. No.
Right.
So he is free. He's pretending to earn money, and you might be in debt. So be careful when you're around.
But all
people
these
like
women
Andrew
do.
Tate.
But all these women that are his girlfriends do work. They do.
Yeah,
OnlyFans
that's another
and stuff.
thing.
So
What
this
he's
is
trying to
bullshit
do
too.
is- He's trying to sweep under the rug all the bullshit he has done about saying that women don't have to work while he's earning, while there are money, while there are women working for him. He's trying to sweep it under the rug by saying that my girlfriends will not work, and that's how he lured them in the first place. That's
And
what
then
he
gets
used
them
to lure
working,
them
and
in
then
the first
and
place.
then like has
Yes.
these other girls like attack them or bully them or yada yada yada. PHX has a good point in the chat. Said, "Quote: We're all consenting adults unless you're a female, and all your decisions must be made by your man."
This was
Right.
a point of contention in their last interview also about having authority over their female partner.
Yes.
So yeah,
in the physical world, she works in the spirit realm. Women shouldn't have to work because being a good partner is a full-time job for a woman. She has to look good. All the beauty treatments are time intensive. Not about money, it takes a lot of time. She has to train every day and stay in fantastic shape. Shop to look amazing next to me. I know there are some men who do 100 times more than this one.
It's kind of interesting that Andrew Tate is acknowledging like the invisible work in a relationship in like the most backwards ass way possible. Like, that's kind of weird. Women do a lot of work, but it's not work. And do what I tell you.
And it's also good that Piers Morgan hasn't asked any question yet.
Nope.
He's just reading him his tweets. I really hope that Andrew starts rambling and says something, and Piers Morgan comes back with something entirely different that like just puts him off guard, and he's like,
daily basis, but women are not as organized as men, and achieving anything significant causes them huge amounts of stress. Yeah. They need to have huge sections of their day empty to waste, or they will have a mental breakdown. True. And do you want a woman who's stressed and angry after the commute, unshaven and exhausted? Or do you want a Barbie doll who's always smiling and saying thank you because she did her nails and bought you Prada that day? As a man, unless you're a loser, you're already filthy rich, right? You can get endless sex anyway. Girls are easy. So what can a girl give you? Happiness, vibes, always smiling. Take the edge off a stressful life. Can she always be happy if she's been working all day? No. Just to wake up at 11, gym till 1, one appointment, and some shopping. Dress.
This is such a book. You did say it was a long one.
Yeah, it's so long. You can see actually Andrew's like gears turning in his brain to like process the whole shit, so he can come up with some fucking excuses, and it's not working. It's not working at all. Why? You know why? Because Andrew Tate's social media is not run by him. That's why he's trying to like, what the fuck was that? His brain, like, you can hear the gears turning in his beard. Like,
he's trying to process it as fast as possible.
Beautiful by 7 p.m. for you to finish working and tell you how strong you are. No matter how pissed off you are, just to always be laughing and smiling and writing in little notes about how you're perfect. And just to be playful and funny. She can't do that if she has a job. So your job is being my girlfriend, and now you're a millionaire. Congratulations. Behave and aim for the promotion to wife. The reason I read all that in detail was, I don't think you understand quite how that comes over. Because I think that is the...
I don't think you understand the PR of how this looks to the outside world. This is Piers Morgan is me talking to Steve 3 years ago. I don't think you understand how this tweet you made looks.
Oh my god.
So I like that Piers is not talking about the content or saying like what he said was right or wrong. He's saying, I don't think you understand the way you come off to people who aren't in your cult.
You know, it's like your male teacher in the school, like schooling a male brat who thinks he knows everything, and he's like, my child, I don't think so you understand how this goes, and then just go bam, 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 and before you know
it, you wrote in your essay. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
He looks so overloaded. Yeah, because he knows that Piers Morgan knows his shit and how to, go.
And he's interacted with Tate before too, so he's got that experience.
Yeah. And I don't know why in the world he would decide to like sit in front of him and like decide to like do this interview. I have no idea. But this is
because Andrew needs as much exposure as he could get. That's why he went on so many different places when he was first kind of gaining popularity.
He's trying to, I think so. Yeah, he's trying to siphon off money so that if he gets jailed or something, he's something. Like,
well, you remember before this when Piers was like, okay, so how are you living? And he's like, God provides. Oh, so Elon Musk is giving you money. God provides. Is Elon Musk God now? God provides. Okay.
Purest definition of misogyny I've probably ever read.
Well, I don't think you understand. One,
the thing you get.
Women can't handle what men can do, etc. One, it's slightly sarcastic. There's a sarcastic tone.
So do you mean any of it?
Oh, really?
I mean all of it. Any woman I'm with, I will provide for because
no woman.
It's sarcastic. Okay, so what's the sarcastic part? I mean all of it. So it's not sarcastic. So Andrew Tate doesn't know what sarcasm is.
So it's misogynistic sarcasm. Is that what you're saying? Okay, it's still misogyny. Even if it's sarcasm, it's still misogyny. And I don't think so he knows how that's just a moot argument.
He's just throwing out words to excuse it. That's just throwing out words.
Especially when I'm talking about the fact that women can't handle what men can do, etc. One, it's slightly sarcastic. There's a sarcastic tone.
So do you mean...
By the way, World War II called. They want their facts back, Andrew.
Oh, do you remember, Andrew, that during the World War, actually the Queen Elizabeth, she worked as a mechanic? while the men were at war.
Do we want to talk about the number of men that were like just ravaged by war, and to maintain the war effort, all the women had to pick up all the jobs? Women's suffrage? No, nothing? Okay.
Yeah. It's almost
History
as if,
might
like,
be a little
women...
bit too much for Andrew, let's be real here.
Yeah. It's almost as if like women are capable of doing all the things that men can do. It's just that men don't like to share. So that's why women are not given the opportunities and are kept out of the bros club. And then we have morons like these, claiming that women can't do men's thing. I'm like,
well, it's the same reason why the issues of of Twitch changing its rules. The original reason why Twitch changed its rules is because a bunch of men were complaining about women in the space because it wasn't about the games, and one of the criticisms being that the game was really, really small, but the girl was really, really big, and she was just like putting boobs everywhere, as if like it somehow wrecked the integrity of their content
disagree.
When their content wasn't competing in the first place.
Yeah, you play games. She's got her body, if I might dare say.
Sure.
But I kind of disagree that she was showing her boobs, because all I could see was like a flat chest.
There's different. I'm talking about like years ago, not the current one.
Oh, okay, years ago. Okay,
when it originally got changed, right? But because there was lots of women who would do that. But whatever. I digress.
Yeah.
Men don't like competition. They're afraid of it. They don't like it because sometimes somebody has an asset they don't, and they think that's unfair. Well, not all men, obviously, but people like Tate.
All of it. Any woman I'm with, I will provide for, because
no woman should work. They should spend all day beautifying themselves for you, right? And they might get promoted to wife. Your job is being my girlfriend.
Correct.
There are hundreds of millions of women around the world who do a good day's work, who still manage to be a very good wife or partner. Right?
Agreed.
This is something Andrew Tate shutting the fuck up and waiting for Piers Morgan to finish is a very big deal for somebody who presents himself the way Andrew Tate does. I just want to point that out there. It means that he respects Piers Morgan enough.
And that's, I think, so in Piers Morgan's advantage.
Yes.
That's
absolutely.
Advantage. And he is using it to his full abilities, right?
This is Piers Morgan after he's no longer working with mainstream media. This is his own show.
Right? Yeah.
So the fact that he's managed to hold on to that from at least Tate's point of view is kind of actually impressive.
Yeah.
Completely. But it's my
So
life.
why would you encourage a whole generation of young men? I mean, I've got to be honest, since our last 2 interviews, before you were arrested, I would say every single day I have young men, teenage boys, maybe early 20s, coming up to me asking about you. It's gone on every day since I interviewed you. I'm very aware of your reach. I'm very aware of your influence. And whenever I've been asked about you, said, what do you think of him? I said, I don't really know. I find myself agreeing with 60 to 70% of the things you say. And I do, because I think a lot of the stuff you say about empowering young men to be confident, to work out, to take care of themselves.
To have enough money to not force their woman to work.
Right, but that's the bit.
Right, see, yeah, and that's what Piers Morgan is saying. He's like, I agree with these ideals, but your application of these ideals is what he's having a problem with, right? He's like, listen, men wanting and helping younger men to do X, Y, and Z and better themselves and need support, because there's a lot of support that men don't get. A lot of support that men don't get when it comes to like divorces, when it comes to child rearing, when it comes to mental health. When it comes to abuse, there is not a lot of resources for men out there. And that's a problem that needs to be addressed, and that's a problem that needs to go, and they should have access to that. There's no reason why men shouldn't have access to that. Yes. But not at the expense of other people. Which is Which is the part that Andrew Tate tacks onto that. It's at the expense of women, because women aren't people. Women are there are objects to support men, and then you just put money into it and sex falls out.
Yeah. That's not how it works, buddy.
That's not how it works.
That's the bit where, when you stray into that kind of language, particularly in the detail where you reveal what you're really thinking, the kind of pathetic, soulless life you want for these women, Where does it allow for being a mother, for example?
Absolutely, that's
How does a mother of
Wow.
your children manage to find...
That's actually a huge deal because he's taking the conservative route. That's actually a really good point. It's not even you're not allowing the woman to work. You left no space for them to be a mom either. That's actually that's fucking big brain.
Listen, Piers Morgan, I am developing some kind of respect for you. Please
Stop
keep
that.
up this type of work. Yeah,
Stop
please
that.
keep up this. Yeah. Wow. Listen, he's doing his job, and I'm loving it.
He's doing a very good job. I'll give him this one. I'm willing to give him this one.
time for being a mother
in
this routine of love and devotion to you?
How does having a job give her time to be a mother? This gives her all the time in the world
What
to be a
aboutism?
mother. One, it's slightly sarcastic, firstly.
What do you mean?
Ready
You mean you
before
don't-
go to gym. She's supposed to go to the gym, be pretty for you, get her nails done, be around you, and just stroke your ego. She doesn't get a chance to be a mom. She's catering. She's looking after a man-child. You.
Well, Andrew Tate just pointed out, right? He just said, well, having a job doesn't give her time to be a mom either, as if that belies the point, which it doesn't.
Yeah.
It means that in both cases, right? He's making Pierce's he's trying to shift the goalposts and
Yes.
talk about it's a little bit of the whataboutism, which I'm gonna pull up, by the way. I pulled up the definition. This is like the basic bitch. This is Oxford language. Whataboutism is the technique or practice of responding to an accusation or difficult question by making a counter accusation or raising a different issue. It is a different issue whether or not women have time to be mothers well in the workplace. It's its own issue. What Andrew Tate is suggesting instead of the workplace is to do all this stuff for him, which comes with the same problem. And I really thought it was important to talk about what whataboutism is, because we've been seeing it all over the fucking goddamn place. But you didn't do this, but what about this, but what about this? I literally got somebody in my fucking comment section of Vic Mignogna right now saying, why are you talking about Vic Mignogna when this person's so much worse? And I'm like, do you know I just said whataboutism, and then they kept going about how this other person is so bad, but Vic doesn't do that, and I was like, so you don't know what whataboutism is? And then they kept going, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take that as a no. We've seen the same thing with the company, right? It's like, but this, and it's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter, and it's not to say that person's issue. That's what Rennell did. Correct. Same fucking shit. Please learn this very specific fallacy.
Substituting one problem for another does not prove your case. It makes you look like someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my god. I would still take, if I had to choose between Andrew Tate and Piers Morgan, I would take Piers Morgan every day. I would take Piers Morgan every day of the week.
Tone.
Do you mean you don't mean it?
No, I mean it.
Well, which
But it's slightly sarcastic.
Well, sarcasm means
comedic effect.
sarcasm means you don't mean it.
No, I mean it. But it's slightly
Well, you either
it's
mean
not
it or you
sarcasm.
don't. It's either sarcastic or it's not.
I mean every single word.
But this is the conundrum with
but it's
you,
slightly
Andrew.
sarcastic.
This is the conundrum with you.
He's
right?
like
Because
a grandpa
If you let me
talking to his
explain, it's not a conundrum at all.
you tweet.
And also,
It's not a conundrum, let me explain. It's either sarcastic or it's not. No, this is
like
the
a
thing he's
grandpa
holding
talking to his
his...
grandson. Hold
Listen here, you little shit.
Hold on, son. Hold on. Yeah. Nonsense from the live chat. Whataboutism is a very big thing, in certain communities. Yeah, it is. And RNGD gaming, one prick interviews a bigger prick. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah. If this is the
assessment of the
same
whole
thing that we
situation.
ran into with Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro. Steven Crowder is such such a slimy asshole. He made Ben Shapiro look funny, and I was like, what is happening here?
Are we in a Twilight
Andrew
Zone?
Tate makes Piers Morgan look like a feminist. Everything is relative.
Oh my
Everything is relative.
Very interesting. I tweeted this out. I get thousands of women begging me, inboxing me, saying, finally a man who understands he needs to provide for a
You
woman
don't know
so she
if
can be
they're
her best
bots.
self.
You
Right.
idiot.
This is exactly...
Hold on.
I don't believe
Does he
him.
know? even if it is, does he know how much problem is there on Twitter with bots? Does he know
sure,
that?
yeah.
How does he know that he's not getting catfished at the moment by someone pretending to be a woman and saying, "Send me money and I will worship you forever," and she doesn't turn
Yeah.
up?
There's
These are the
there's
same
like
tactics
a
that he used.
yeah. Go ahead.
Andrew, don't become the problem that you were trying. No, don't become the commodity you
sucker?
were trying to make money on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he did the same thing with his webcam business, isn't it? He and his brothers and all other men sat down and typed while the girl did nothing and looked just talk to the person on the other side, and the guys sent in their money forever and got nothing in return. There was no emotional return. And this is the same thing, Andrew. It might be happening. Okay, we get it. You don't have emotions. Get it. You go off on
Sure.
people, giving you compliments and shit. But how do you know that in your inbox they're actually women, or someone in tweets also, if there's replies that appears to be women accounts, they're actually women. AI is coming in now. So
Even
think
besides
about it.
that, if you want another example, this is like something that happened in gaming a lot. If you have an option
Yeah.
for an online game where you can pick a female or a male character, then it's likely that women will choose male characters more often and men will pick
Yeah.
female characters more often to play as. For multitudes of reasons. One of them being dudes will pick women, pretend to be women online to reap all of the benefits of being a woman online. This is a tale as old as WoW.
The kind of life that will allow
No,
them to
there
become a
are
mother.
definitely women that will absolutely
Yes.
love to be
So why don't you
treated
are
like
they
this.
misogynists?
No, but what I think
Sometimes.
they're people who just basically, it's the old
Depends.
sugar daddy thing, right? They want to have a rich guy who's going to pamper them and take care of them. They don't have to do a day's
That's
work.
the
They
right
just have to
word
make
Being a
themselves
good partner
look
is
good for
a day's
you.
work.
Sugar daddy thing
Well,
going
so
on.
you say.
Yeah.
But it also, the language that you use here seriously diminishes women who do work. You make them out to be, well, you're not doing your job as a partner or wife. You should be doing your job, which is just to devote yourself to his pleasure and making him
Well, it's
happy.
actually interesting you say that, because I'll put a lot of the fault of this on men. Let's if you want to gender the
No,
argument,
you
let's do
didn't,
that.
you fucking
I think
asshole.
that a lot of the reason why women can't live this life, if they so choose, if you're a woman who decides to work, then go to work. I don't care. But if you're a woman
Now it's
Oh my
if
God.
you choose. But if you choose this, then you
okay.
need to follow all these rules that I add
Yeah, so
arbitrarily on top of
it's
that.
like It's like
Oh.
once you're a part of the cult, you can't have your own choices anymore.
You can't choose
You
to
have
leave.
to follow the. Yeah, you can choose to leave. You don't have your own choices anymore. Everything's taken. They give. So this is what the cult does, right? They give when you become a part of a cult slowly. There is an illusion that you are choosing, right?
Right.
And that's the same thing that Andy's doing. He's giving the women that he is luring. I'm not going to use the word courting at all because that's not courting. He's using to lure
Sure.
by giving them an illusion that they're choosing and they're choosing good for themselves. And after that, as soon as they are part of a circle, all their choices are gone immediately. Well, you chose this, so you are, and that's what women do. They stay in, and also, let me just make it neutral. That's what happens with abusive partners. You end up living with such abusive partners because you blame yourself for making that choice.
Right.
And Andrew
And you feel like you
preys
have to
on
be
that.
committed to it. Yeah.
Yes, because.
Yep.
We got your number. We got your
who
number, Andrew.
decides she wants to retire is because she can't find a man who could provide for her at this level. Do you think when a woman marries a billionaire that she wants to go get a job in Starbucks? Because in my experience,
So the problem is economics? Is the current economic climate?
And also, how does he know that, what wives of billionaires think? A lot of wives of billionaires, they do work. They have a lot of charities that they look into. They promote art. They do. And for Andrew Tate to assume that, wives of billionaires don't want to work is,
You get
he's
bored.
just jumping out of his ass.
I cannot tell you the number of people that I have worked with in the past that have come to work because they were bored. They were like, we have enough money,
Yes.
my husband's retired,
agree.
I'm retired, but I found that I was, like, stuck inside all the time, and I didn't like that, and I wasn't, like, going out and talking to people or making friends anymore, so I went back to work, or went and found another job, just so I could hang out and socialize. So it's a socialism, it's a socialism thing.
It happens with our people who get injured at work, right? They are
Right.
on leave because they are supposed to rest, but they're like, I'm coming back to work because they're still getting paid. Surprise, surprise! In New Zealand,
Education
make sure.
is a rich people pastime.
Yes, promoting education or financing scholarships and stuff.
Getting their
they
own
do that.
education.
Yeah. So Andrew, you're just talking out of your ass,
Yep.
and
he's
that's
just
what
making shit
happens
up.
when you are in debt and not actually a millionaire.
When they marry extremely successful men, they don't want a job. I'm sure Ronaldo's wife isn't begging to go work in IKEA.
Actually,
No,
Ronaldo's wife works very hard.
she works for herself, which is different.
And her family.
Of course,
Yeah.
which is
She's
different.
a hard-working woman. Actually.
Absolutely, because being a fantastic partner and having a bunch of children is a bunch of hard work. And she also finds the energy to have businesses on the side. Fantastic.
Right. But you
So
don't
what we're
want,
saying here,
but you don't want women to have business.
no, I'm saying if you're with a man of my stature, you don't have to work. Now, if I met a perfect woman,
He didn't say have to.
You don't have to work.
He
No,
changed
no,
it to
no, no,
half.
boy. No, boy. Yeah, no, boy.
Shifting
no, no. You're
the
not backtracking.
goalposts.
Yeah, you're not backtracking. You're not backtracking. And I'm very happy that Pierce is not letting him do that. He's like, no, that's what you said here. That's what you said.
Right.
and we were together, and we were happy.
When you say a man of your stature, with respect, right now you have no income, no possessions,
Correct. I'm
and you're
completely
facing
broke.
serious criminal charges. I mean, I'm not quite sure
Got
what
him.
statue you think you're currently selling, but it ain't great.
Okay, well then it's a shame all those women inboxed me after I put that tweet out saying
I've got no-
we agree with you. I think you should interview.
I met a
Ellen
woman
for them.
yesterday-
Rewatch that clip, please. Can you rewatch that clip? I want to enjoy.
When you say a man of your
Please,
stature,
okay.
with respect, right now you have no income, no possessions,
Correct. I'm
and you're
completely
facing
flat
facing
broke.
serious criminal charges. I mean, I'm not quite sure what statue you think you're currently selling, but it
Sir.
ain't great.
Okay, well then
He's so offended.
Bird, baby bird. Oh, dumpster
That's
fire in the
that right there. That is an uncomfortable. You just hurt my feelings. Smile.
Clip it, please clip it. No, we will have the memes. I'm
You
quite
guys-
sure we will have the memes.
Oh yeah, that's a. I feel like somebody should take a picture of Andrew Tate, change his suit to being blue, and add like blue fire to his hair so he looks like Hades from Hercules.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't view OnlyFans as work, which is why he doesn't understand sex trafficking charges. Yeah, maybe. That's a valid thought.
Yes.
God,
Because
I'm
it's
pretty
sex.
sure. I'm pretty sure Piers Morgan just fired a nuke right into Andrew Tate's ego.
It's like he was all this time when Andrew was like, blabbering. He was just like,
Here's just
"Where's my
waiting."
gun?" Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
he
like,
had
one
that in his
bullet,
pocket. He was
two bullet,
waiting for
one
that.
bullet,
Set
four
it up,
bullet,
set it up,
five
set it
bullet,
up.
six bullet. Close the gun. Yeah.
Jack420 said, I feel like men like Andrew Tate are a side effect of suffering from peer pressure, of hiding emotions, attempting to look in control, and I doubt he has any long-term partner. Sadly, that peer pressure sometimes is also other men. He's more of a, like, he is a problem,
Yeah,
but
they
he's a
have
little
a-
bit more of a symptom. Same as, like,
He
Donald
is-
Trump, right? This is,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, looking at this from like an optimistic point of view, might be. I'm not the most optimistic person. I'm usually pretty realist. I stay in the tend to be the neutral one in that kind of regard. But if you wanted to be optimistic, you could say that like people like the extreme type things we're seeing from like the red pill communities and Andrew Tate and Donald Trump are basically like the throw cries of older, out-of-date ideologies that are trying to maintain a foothold and losing every step of the way. Right? So it's resorting to these additional tactics for things that used to be standard, which means that those things aren't standard anymore and they're losing more and more control. Men are in a better place than they were. Women are in a better place than they were. And it's improving slowly, admittedly, but it is improving over time. And so you get these more extreme views, and people are more likely to go into and fall into those extreme views when they're desperate, not when they're like in a position of power.
That's what
Right.
happens in cults, isn't it? And to add to that, I saw the BBC documentary about Andrew Tate. It was a two-parter. I don't remember the name. It came out. A lot of people were talking about it. I might find a link here, there, and maybe link it in the description later. But the person who was doing the investigation in this has found that Andrew Tate is part of a larger group of men who set up such businesses, and there's one person who's guiding them around how to work with, people's emotions and how to like lure them in. So there is a
Interesting.
cult. Yeah, there is a cult. I'm quite sure I have a copy of that BBC documentary somewhere, and I'll pick it up. So
Yeah,
he
definitely
is part of a
send it
cult.
my way. I'm curious.
And if we remember, Andrew Tate was broke at one point, and that's when he started his.
He retired from fighting, lost all of his money, then suddenly had money to launder. That's the order of events that we looked at from what Andrew Tate said in his own shit.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, this is his interview. On his own stuff. Not like somebody else investigating or somebody else coming to a conclusion. That's what he said. So
This is the same thing. This is the same thing that's been happening in the last few weeks, if I might dare say, with certain individuals who have gone on their live stream and try and talk in code words, hoping that nobody knows exactly what they're talking about, but still knows what they're talking about. Yeah, and we were able to infer a lot of things from what they were putting out. The same things has happened with Andrew Tate. He's put out a lot of bullshit, and people are like, "Oh,
yeah.
okay."
And to be fair, those are inferences, and inferences are something specific, right? That doesn't mean you know 100% for sure, but it gives you an idea of what you should be looking for, to be like, okay, well, if this inference is incorrect, here's what would show that it was incorrect, etc., etc.,
And there's a difference between an inference and whataboutism. Or
there's also a
what
premiere.
else it could be.
There's also a premiere coming out after this is over, so there's the link to it. If you're interested, feel free to join us there after this is over. It'll be about an hour and 20 minutes or so from now. So we got time.
Okay. So if I may repeat it, so there's a difference between drawing inferences and saying what else it could be.
There's a difference between an inference and a conclusion.
Yes.
You can conclude something based on inferences, but inferences are they're only one piece of a puzzle.
Yes. So here we are, doing critical thinking. Here we go.
What the fuck are you talking? Get out of here.
It's a shame.
This
all
is Dumb
those
Fact
women lost
Friday.
Me after I put that tweet out saying,
I've got no-
we agree with you. I think you should interview.
I
all
met
of
a
them
woman
for their
yesterday who, when I said I
misogynistic
was coming to interview, was immediately like, "Oh, can you put a good word in for me?"
views. Of course.
Sure.
You have a definite appeal to a certain type of woman. There's no question.
I think providing
my
for
question
a woman
is, if I was
financially is a man's responsibility. If that means I'm a misogynist,
He's
Yes.
just
No, my-
stonewalling him.
I think
So you
I-
accept you are-
his face into it. He's sticking to the question. He's not letting him rant on, oh, men should do this, men should do that, blah blah blah, and give her a speech that he usually does.
Not letting him
He's
preach.
like, this is what we are going to talk about. Let's stick to this. You're not going anywhere else, boy.
certain type of woman. There's no question.
I think providing
my
for
question
a
is,
woman
if I was
financially is a man's responsibility. If that means I'm a misogynist, then I'm a misogynist.
no,
I think
so you
that-
accept you are a misogynist.
No, I think a man should provide
No,
for a woman
yeah.
financially, completely and utterly. If she wants to work, if my partner were to say to me right now, I really feel like getting a job, it would make me happy, then I'll say work. But she doesn't have to.
I don't
Her
believe
job is looking after the children, looking after
Now,
me,
if you
and being
wanna
as happy
work
as
for me.
possible. If you think I'm a bad person for saying
Now he's added children, looking after children.
Yeah, because Piers Morgan brought it up, and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
if you actually read that, read the subtext and context.
I read it
I'm
all
saying,
out.
Okay, good. Then you'll understand what I'm saying.
You know it.
I
You
read
heard
it all out.
Absolutely. So what I'm
He's
saying
trying to
is,
accuse
I'm
him.
a man.
He read the whole tweet out, and he's trying to accuse him of
Yeah, he's
context.
adding more to that. Yeah, he's adding more to that tweet when it's not there.
Yeah. He's trying to wiggle. He's wiggling.
And my life is stressful. My life is pain. I go to jail. I suffer. I have to deal with making money. I have constant, endless headache. I do all of that so I can give you
this
everything,
headache.
but then I get to have you. Your job is to be happy. I want you to smile. I want you to look your best and feel your best all of the time. If I am a misogynist for saying that I go through so much pain
Look at
so that
his
we can be
face.
financially secure,
The
so I hope
face.
the woman I care about does not have to work a job. If that makes me a bad person, then so be it. Because all I'm saying is I want to take care of her in every single realm. I take care of her physical safety. I take care of her financial security.
How are you taking care of a woman's physical safety by taking her passport from her, saying this or else, and then sticking her in a room or in an apartment with a bunch of other women who will assault her and threaten her while you're gone on your behalf? That is not doing any of the things. And you're making them work. And taking their money. You are a fucking leech. That's what you are. You rely on
You're a
women's
pimp.
work and income to support yourself and your lifestyle. That's what you do.
Yep. And
You don't
are
manage
so-
and do shit.
You want to push that under the rug or sweep it under the rug so much so because you're so insecure that people will call you out on it. That you are living on women's income. You're not working.
Yep. Nope.
Your partners are looking after you. The partners you pretend to be partners with, they are looking after you because they are making the money.
All right, let's take
You're
a quick.
You're fucking
Let's take a short break.
Yep.
We have been live
Yep.
for nearly an hour, so we're gonna take a short break. We'll be
Yes.
back in a couple of minutes. Hey, welcome back. I got a flaky. I got some tea going. This is gonna be tasty. Can I point out that, like, I've had this conversation before about whether, like, that women do work when they are doing, like, porn or when they're doing OnlyFans or when they're doing, like, any kind of visual medium that makes them money, that appeals to utilizing their body, that is work. And I find it interesting that not only is Andrew Tate acknowledging that work, that's more than Steve ever did.
Yeah. Oh.
I had that argument. I had that argument live on a stream with Steve and some other men that were like, yeah, but if I was a woman, I would just show my tits everywhere and just make money. And it's like, as if that there isn't like a massive amount of competition, as if that's not work. And this guy tried to legit set up a debate with me to debate about, it was like, I can't remember the guy's name. I remember his avatar, but I can't remember his name. And Steve was agreeing with this guy the whole time. He was like, yeah, no, it's not. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Absolutely
Steve, you back me up here, man?
Not. No, Steve agreed with the other guy. And I was like, you guys are fucking
saying.
high.
Also, if
it's
you
the Bros
remember,
Club, bro.
I had a conversation with King Crocoduck on
Yes!
Twitter.
Yes!
Around. That's a very good thread. I don't know. It's on my old account. I'll find it and I'll post it later. But it was like people don't like to work in prostitution. I'm like, how do you know that? Oh, you must really you don't respect yourself if you do a job that's so.
Yeah, I think I said something along the lines of, I'm like, oh yeah, does the cameraman hate themselves? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Is every cameraman for the porn industry and every director in the porn industry a cuck? Is that what you're telling me? Fuck off.
Yeah. A lot of people do a lot of jobs that they don't like. That doesn't make it the fact that they don't care about themselves or that they don't respect themselves. That's not how it happens. So to say till today that porn work, cam work or prostitution are not jobs and try to devalue them, yeah, that's not how it goes now.
That is my job as a man. And if more men acted like me, you will see that the world would be a happier and better place. The women who say, I really want to work.
World War II.
Yeah.
The 50s. Before that, the Victorian era. When women would fucking poison their husbands and be like, oh damn, he got sick, I don't know what happened. Like,
husband number 2, hi darling.
Hello, you are only valuable to me because I'm not allowed to work myself.
Yeah, so I'm going to make my value through you by poisoning you and getting all your property. Ta-da!
What about lesbian women? What are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
What about gay men? What are they supposed to do?
I'm not going to be quite surprised if Andrew Tate is homophobic. I'm not going to be surprised, let's just say. And the way he has conducted himself, it does come across like that he is homophobic. But yeah,
he was pretty based about that trans thing. He was like, if you have a trans woman who's a legitimate 10, then you pick the legitimate 10 trans woman. You can just like flop the dick out of the way. That was so weird. That was so weird.
Andy, were you confessing something there? Were you confessing something there?
In their decision, they're allowed to do that. But also, often the reason they do that is
because
they can't find a man they trust to take care of them.
No.
If the women were allowed to do what they wanted in your relationships, Andrew, you would not be in the position you currently are in.
Yeah.
The women who say, I really want to work, I want a career, that's their prerogative and their decision. They're allowed to do that. But also, often the reason they do that is because they can't find a man they trust to take care of them.
No.
I've had this from women that are
Andrew,
if I found a man who was financially secure and as smart as you, I wouldn't be doing this garbage job either. Why was I psyoped into working to pay taxes when I should be at home having children with a man I adore?
Andrew.
It's a psyop.
Andrew.
There are
like
so many women that will listen to that and be laughing and mocking you. Say, don't be so ridiculous. I have a job that I love.
Thank you, Piers Morgan, for acknowledging us.
Damn, Piers Morgan. Oh my God.
The internet is a very big place. Just because you can find somebody to agree with you does not mean you are correct. That's not how that works. There's something called confirmation bias, and then there is a fallacy called ad populum. Confirmation bias is when you go around and look for things that agree with you. You have a foregone conclusion, and then you go and find information that matches that conclusion. You see that with like answers in Genesis and flat Earth shit all the time. When, or like people who come up with conspiracy theories about somebody working for somebody else. They have a foregone conclusion, and then they go and try to find reasons to prove their pre-existing notion. When it comes to, what was the other one I said? I said, ad populum. Ad populum is lots of people agree with me, therefore I'm right. That is not how that works. Just because a lot of people agree with it does not mean it is true. I was watching one of Dapper's premieres recently, and Bodhi from Answers in Genesis was saying that science here was right because it was old or something like that. And I was like, no, just because right.
A combination of this is used by transphobes who like use children as shields to spew out transphobic shit. So they go out and look, in this case it went wrong. And then at the same time on Twitter, look, so many people agree with me, so I'm right. That's not how it works. By the way, if I'm not wrong, the stats for children transitioning before puberty, the success rate is almost 98 to 99%. So
well, then they only that only happens in extreme cases. Usually, people do not transition or begin transitioning from on a physical state until after puberty is over.
And also, if I'm
except for the people who are kind of forcibly trans because they have partially developed plumbing when they're babies and when they pop out, and the doctor just makes a decision and takes care of whatever the doctor feels like
I don't like that at all.
That's
also very different.
That's another conversation. That's another conversation. We can come back to that another day.
Yeah.
All right, I play.
Maybe they're being paid even more than their man,
sorry.
right?
I was thinking what my point was and I forgot. Brain fart happened. Yeah. And also,
the smarter you are, the more brain farts you have.
People, right?
That's a Chesh theory. Chesh original theory. All right. The smarter you are, the more often you brain fart because there's too much in your brain. Yeah. Head empty, no brain fart.
Yep. So, the transphobes also use this thing like, why are you transitioning them before puberty? They should mature before they transition. Do you know how much mental havoc it wreaks on someone's body when your hormones are raging around and your body is transforming and you're trying to reverse the effects of that? Are you fucking kidding me? This is a basic concept that you should know. And for you to try and use that and weaponize that tells me you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And if you dare say that I have someone in my family who did that, I dare you to say it. I dare you to say it. Then I will say, give me their name, and I will sit down and have a conversation with them and interview them and find out what exactly happened. Because I don't like this, I have a black friend like trope. I fucking hate it. Okay, rant over.
To that and be laughing and mocking you. Say, don't be so ridiculous. I have a job that I love. Maybe they're being paid even more than their man, right? The real world isn't the one that you categorize.
The real world is varied and nuanced, but I am talking about my life experience.
There's
Any woman I love does not have to work unless she decides.
Fine,
you are enforcing it though. You're teaching it as if it's something people should do. Like last time we watched him, he was like, my experience, therefore the only experience, therefore correct. Which is also a fallacy. Isn't Andrew Tate supposed to be really smart? Isn't he like, I have a big brain IQ, I was a chess master, my dad played chess, therefore I'm big brain, but he doesn't recognize basic bitch fucking fallacies? Like, basic fallacies. Like, and the thing is Andrew Tate fans don't recognize these fallacies either. Because they're not big brained. It's a fucking charade. It's fucking snake oil.
Sheeple, that's what it is. Sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple!
Standing in a paddock where there are no fences and just like, we can't get out of here.
the boss, you're in
Oh,
charge.
thanks,
Her
Alex.
job is to make you happy. Her job is to make herself look good. Her job is to work out for your benefit. Blah, 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 blah. It is actually just
Blah, blah,
misogyny.
blah.
Do you think a woman looking
And it's
good?
also-
Do you think a woman looking good and working out has no benefit at all to her?
Of course it does.
Okay, so it's not for
This
my
is not the
benefit,
red
then,
pill
is it?
No, but you see, but when
That's a shifting the goalpost. It's not about that. He's avoiding the topic. The topic is you're enforcing this. The topic is that you're saying that she needs to do this for your benefit, not for her benefit. Just because it also benefits her. Just because it also might benefit her, because going to the gym and working out all the time is not beneficial for everybody. Everybody is different. It doesn't work for everybody. And so, just because it might also benefit her does not mean that your initial approach, saying that she does this for me, isn't a problem.
Yeah.
Blech.
This is again taking away choices at your pleasure and making it conditional. When a relationship becomes conditional, you might
Transactional. The word
wanna
you're
start-
looking for is
yeah,
transactional.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to start looking at it, and think like, okay, maybe no.
It doesn't mean transactions can't happen within a relationship. But when that's the only thing going on, you may want to reevaluate.
When you think that because you helped around the house, so you deserve sex.
Friends don't pay friends, Manya. Friends don't pay friends.
Oh, friends don't pay friends. So yeah.
you talk
stand
about when you talk
corrected.
about young, no, I don't. When you talk about young men,
It's a
and you tell them
requirement.
to work out and take care of themselves, I cheer you on, right? I want that. I've got 3 sons. I want them to feel that way.
Don't you want them to become very rich and successful and have a
course.
woman who relies on them and have a beautiful family?
No, but I don't want a woman who's subservient
Oh,
to
he's
them.
Why is
adding on to
subservience?
that.
Why is a
Literally,
woman
the tone of the tweet I read is subservience. So you did another tweet this week. Men love by telling you what to do and not allowing you to make stupid decisions. We save you from the female inclination to make stupid choices. If a man isn't giving you instructions, he doesn't love you. If you won't listen to a man's instructions, you don't love him. The whole language is so ridiculous.
Let me change the language then.
Well, you tweeted this to
Absolutely.
8.2 million people.
Correct. So let me say.
You tweeted this to 8.2 million people!
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me change the language so it says
Let me shift the goalpost
All
again.
right.
Let
Yeah,
me shift
all right.
the goalpost again.
Votes in the chat, X in the 1 in the chat if you think he's going to say something that's going to have like a different conclusion than what he did in the tweet. All right, 1 in the chat if you think that. 2 in the chat if you think he's actually going to properly reframe what he said in this is like we're back to the cult thing. This is fucking cult shit. Because he's like the language and the selling of the cult to cult members is not acceptable to outsiders. So you have to change the messaging. This is some classic ass Scientology shit. Go watch Chris Shelton's channel.
Yep. And try and see if
father
you
loves.
want to read his book too.
Oh yeah, go get Chris Shelton's book.
Let's
Merry
say instead of a
Christmas.
man loves, say a father loves. A father loves disciplinarian. That's how a father will love you. A mother will say, oh, I hope you're happy, hope you're doing okay. But a father will come along and say, no, don't do this. You must do it that way. That's incorrect. It has to be this way. A father will discipline you because a father feels he knows best for you. It's the
Yours is
masculine
like, huh?
essence of.
So anybody who said 1 is correct. Women are not children.
Yep.
As soon as you reframe
Women
it as if
are
women are
adults.
incompetent and have to be spoken to like they are children because you've got to be daddy, shut the fuck up. Now, you could have a relationship where you agree to call somebody daddy, but that is something different.
Love. When
Look
a
into
man
the
loves,
contract.
he shows that he cares via degrees.
There is a massive difference between a relationship between a father and a child and between a man and a woman in a relationship.
Completely.
And I'm not sure you quite get
No,
that.
there is a difference. But I would argue, Piers,
But-
argue in the happiest relationships, it's a traditionally
Based on what?
masculine role in which the man plays and provides. The female
Now
is
he went
traditionally
back.
Yes,
He tried
yes. I don't think anybody. Nobody's arguing that though. That it is. If you look back, traditionally this was the case. Yes, and people were not happy about it.
Yep. Now, what's happening now, Andrew? So he tried to change the goalpost Pierce was like, no, no, boy. And now he's coming back to the topic. He will try and wiggle in that direction
The
again.
thing
but
is if
Pierce is like,
if you go back, right, and try to verify if people's marriages were happy, all you need to do was see the divorce rate fucking skyrocket as soon as no-fault divorce was allowed. Fucking skyrocketed. Because everybody was like, I'm free! And then people were not getting into those situations as much anymore. Because other laws changed around it. But even if you want to go, let's say, alright, let's go back further. Let's go somewhere else and take a look somewhere else in history. All you have to do is go, okay, what do we have as sources for this information? Not women writers. Why don't we have women's accounting of this? And the ones that we do have are really, really lilted. But what are those described as? Oh, these two women were just really good roommates.
They were lesbians, yeah.
And they had they both were happily married, and those two guys were super duper best friends, and those two women were super duper best friends.
Peers, I would argue in the happiest relationships, it's a traditionally masculine role in which the man plays and provides. The female is traditionally feminine. The man is the head of the house, not in an abusive way. Doesn't beat her up. I'm talking about the man being the head of the household, like I would like to believe you're the head of your household. And
you're already setting up an abusive power dynamic. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Hitting somebody is not the only way to be abusive. Taking power away from somebody is abusive.
Taking their power to choose, being passive aggressive. That's all, they're all tactics.
The silent treatment, yada, yada, yada.
The silent treatment, oh god.
He comes along and says what happens and what doesn't happen because he's the man of the house.
No, that's not. That's actually not how most households operate now.
Well, then it sounds like we understand why the entire world's a mess. Because only 10 years ago, that's exactly how the households were operating.
There was a man of the house,
and now we have...
Messiah.
10 years ago? 10? Bro,
decade ago?
Like...
When I...
That's 2003. Sorry, no, that's 2013.
Yeah, that was the year I landed in New Zealand to start my master's in engineering.
2013 is when things were like a 10. Bruh, try the 50s. Try the 40s. Actually, you know what? That to be fair, the roaring 20s were a thing. Now, you want to talk about American history, right? The roaring 20s were a thing. Now, to be fair, Andrew Tate is not American, so maybe he's talking about a decade ago in England? Because isn't that where he's from? He's from London?
No.
Where's Andrew Tate from?
Nah. I don't know if he's from London, but he is from UK. I know
he's from the UK, yeah. Yeah, okay, so, like, I'm pretty sure 10 years ago in the UK, you'll find... Not that. 10 years ago.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, I guess, because now...
he's half American?
Prison time is... Oh, okay. I think so prison time is looming, so 10 years is a long time. Isn't it, Andrew?
Oh, remember at the beginning we talked about how he was imitating Pierce's accent to try to sound more posh, and it's just devolved over time?
He started screaming literally, and almost like got off his chair and fell over.
That would have been really funny.
No longer any clear defined roles. There's no longer a man of the house. You want to talk about knife crime, kids doing drugs, the crime rate, all of these problems. You want to talk about all of the societal ills we face. Perhaps it's because we don't have any men in the house anymore. Perhaps we need to bring the man of the house back. And the man of the house will come along and be a disciplinarian, and he will make the set rules and the creeds of that house. He will say, within this household, we don't take drugs. That stands for the woman I am with, the children who we have birthed.
Andrew, you cannot convince me you don't do drugs.
Oh, he does drugs, and his
you
brother.
Cannot
more than him.
What? Where did the money come from that you needed to launder, Andrew?
Yeah.
I do not believe for a second that this man does not do fucking drugs. Insert statistics that say otherwise, right? Yeah, you want to talk about crime rates. The crime rate has been statistically, like, over time trend going down in most developed countries.
Just a thought. Just a thought. Is he wearing glasses because he's high?
That could
Is
be.
he wearing glasses?
You
But
can.
I
So the
digress.
thing is like, so when you're a professional fighter, it is not uncommon to be doing some kind of steroid or some kind of testosterone, right? To help build muscle mass and to help you with your workouts, etc., etc., etc. This is very, very prevalent. This is regardless of people who have private jets have a tendency to spend their additional money on drugs of some kind. That doesn't mean
Excessive
all
income.
of them. It just means this is a common thing among the elite because, like, the rules are only for the plebeians.
Yeah.
That's an inference, by the way. That's what that is.
That's the difference.
Right. There's no way that I believe that he doesn't do drugs. No way. No way in hell. Sunglasses indoors is a douchebag trademark. Yeah, he's trying to look cool. They're aviators specifically, and his face. I think he's hiding his face on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, because he's high and his like pupils are like dilated as shit. I don't know what he's
Maybe.
high at, but yeah.
Tate is doing the classic thing of mistaking fear and dictatorialism with respect and leadership. Yeah, that's a classic.
Exactly.
Classic. He's wearing sunglasses because he's hiding his thought process. He wants to look cold, calculated, and in control, but the eye movement would reveal otherwise. Yeah, his not just his body language, but his tone. He's so all over the place. He's trying to present himself as if he's calm and cool, but his language betrays him. Same as Renelle, actually. Her language betrayed her rather than her tone.
Yeah.
Nobody takes drugs in this household because this is my house and I'm the man of the house. So it sounds to me
Yes,
like
he
we need to
smokes
bring it
cigars.
back, sir.
Yeah, listen, it's all good macho stuff, okay? And I know lots of young boys who listen to this and go, wow, that's how I should be. Then I read the detail of your
dismissed
tweets,
it.
and again, come back to this,
Whatever.
we save women from their female inclination to make stupid
Look at the.
choices.
Did you see that? Look at Andrew. Look at
Nobody
Andrew's
takes
body
drugs in this
language. He
household
goes from
because
this
is my house
to
and I'm the man of the house. So it sounds
completely
to me like we need to bring
deflated
it
by
back,
just the
sir.
dismissal.
Yeah, listen, it's all good macho,
macho stuff.
okay? And I know lots of young boys who listen to
Watch.
this and go, wow, that's how I should be. Then I read the detail of your tweets, and again, come back to this, we save women from their female inclination to make
Deflated
stupid choices.
fucking
Females are
balloon.
emotional.
If a man isn't giving you instructions,
females are
hang
emotional.
on,
Piers,
he doesn't
females
love you.
are-
All
females
this
are
stuff,
emotional.
all this stuff is designed.
Let me yell at you and interrupt about how emotional
Oh,
females
we saw
are.
that. We saw that happen a few days ago, didn't we? Someone trying to interrupt again and again. Yeah.
to make stupid choices.
Females are emotional.
If a man isn't giving you instructions,
females are
hang
emotional.
on, hang on.
Piers,
He doesn't
females
love you.
are-
All
females
this
are
stuff,
emotional.
all this stuff is designed to, exactly as you've just articulated, is designed to make young men feel that the only way they can be successful in life is to effectively have their women under control, give them instructions that,
By
they have,
buying them
that they have to obey.
Oh, don't.
On top of that, it also is trying to tell young men that they're superior to women, period. Being emotional here is being presented as if it is a bad thing, and as if it's something exclusive to females. It is not. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. The problem is your behavior and how you react and respond
How do you channel
to
it?
being emotional. And you know what's not healthy to be emotional? Stamping it all down and smiling and telling the person who's
bottling it up.
making you
Yep.
feel really uncomfortable and the person who's upsetting you that they're such a great person. Just
Yeah.
period. That's a
toxic
problem.
masculinity for you.
Right. And it's like, again, it's not exclusive. Women can be emotional, men can be emotional, women can be calculated, men can be calculated. Different people have different subsets. Manya is more emotional than I am, but Manya is not like a bad person or wrong. You'll never catch me telling Manya that she's wrong for feeling a certain way and expressing it with emotion. Why would I do that? That's insane. If you are somebody who is like, I'm a logic bro, and who is like, facts don't care about your feelings, yada yada yada, if you are so stupid and illogical that you are trying to remove emotion from the human condition and the human perception and experience that will inform your behavior and your thought processes, you're not as logical as you think you are. You're actually a fucking idiot.
You know, in court cases, there's a difference between manslaughter and murder. I wonder why.
Right. Right, exactly. Alright.
Feel that the only way they can be successful in life is to effectively
only
have
way.
their women under control, give them instructions that
By
they have,
buying them
that they have to obey.
Don't buy
let
women
me
Prada,
finish.
you'll end up in jail.
You can buy them Prada, but let me finish my point. My point is that it seems to me, from reading your tweets, even now,
Pierce does not give a shit about what Andrew Tate has to say.
that you have a blind
He's like,
spot
yeah,
when it
okay, yeah,
comes to
buy
how
her a
they
Prada.
sound.
Okay, fine.
And it may
No, I
be,
don't.
and it may be that the legal problems
Now
that
he's
you're
pointing.
in,
He's
which
like,
might
"Shut
be
the fuck up, boy."
extremely serious, and we'll see when the trial happens. But it may be that in your head, nothing you've done is remotely inappropriate, because actually, in your tweets, you can see there's an element there of wanting coercion and control. You want to control women. You want them to be effectively your servants, slaves, for want of a better phrase.
Slaves who get Prada and get to work out in the gym and get to look good.
But you understand?
While
do you
I
understand-
do actual
but you understand
work.
the point I'm making?
If
No,
I
you
treat
don't
my
do any work.
slaves, if I treat my slaves well enough at home, it validates slavery. Is that what Andrew Tate just said?
This is like picking up from the time when slaves used to work in scorching heat and sun to pick cotton, and it were their owners who said, yeah, we work very hard to feed our children. This is what, you know, Andrew is trying to perpetuate.
Well, it's talking about, it's
That's
not
what
even just,
exactly
it's
what
actually
he's
more
doing.
insidious than just, like, if you treat your slaves well. It's like, if the slave behaves in the correct way and keeps all the other slaves in line and helps me, then they will be dressed better, they will have access to better things and earn that promotion. And because of that promotion and that process, that slavery is valid. And not just valid, should be the case, according to Andrew. It's just the people he wants to
You
enslave
want to
are
go back
all
to dark
women.
ages, man. Yeah. Nah.
That's a lot of people.
That's what that's what's it's
Slave
happening. He just
50% of
made
the
it like-
population.
he has made it cold transaction, and he's saying on one
Yeah.
hand he says that women are emotional, and on the other hand he says I'm not going to, but plus he says he's not going to take their emotions into consideration. That's what this is, and that's
Right.
not how relationships work.
No. Isn't there a saying about gilded cages? Yes, exactly.
Yes.
No, I don't. Because
Which
I'll tell
is
you what.
in your head, the line is blurred so much now with this macho rhetoric that you've actually lost track of how this sounds.
Here's all of the things I
Even when I read that stuff to you, I could see you looking at me, and you said, your answer is, I was being sarcastic. And I said, well, where? And then you go, well, no, I meant it. Well, it can't be both.
I meant it, and I said
You either
it's
mean
sarcastic
it,
tone
you either
for comedic
mean it,
effect.
or it's, well, no, because sarcasm means you don't mean it.
Pierce, all the things you've just
Do you
described.
accept that?
Here's
No,
You're a
I
smart
meant-
guy. You know what sarcasm means, right?
Absolutely. I said I had sarcastic tone for comedic effect. All the things I'm saying. and the
So what
things I've
part do
said
you not
are
believe?
Basically, the way the entire world thought only 10 years ago. You may buy
No.
into the psyop, and you may buy into the new thing.
I don't buy into any psyops.
We just talked about the vaccine, sir.
We just talked about the vaccine. The vaccine was a psyop to go get Andrew Tate. Okay, but why is he stuck on this 10 years ago thing? What was Andrew Tate doing 10 years ago?
I'm telling you, when prison time is in the view, and you know you can see prison time in your future. 10 years is a long time. Just saying.
The vaccines weren't
I think so. I
psyops.
know.
Of course not. So I believe
Isn't in his indictment he's, I think so. At first, he started making he had made the arguments that this was all like 10 years ago, and I dropped everything after that. He tried to go with that argument, didn't he? He said that, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's why it's just stuck in his head.
Vagary in the chat said, that's not sarcasm, Tate. That's hyperbole or exaggeration for effect. Correct. Not sarcasm. Big brain Andrew
I
Tate
thought Andy was smart.
doesn't know what these words mean.
That there should be a
them,
man of the
boy.
house.
You had a polio vaccine, right?
Correct.
Why?
Because I didn't get polio. I wouldn't have a COVID vaccine because I'd still get COVID. Plus, probably myocarditis and have a heart attack. So,
What?
we believe there was a man of the house 10 years ago.
Do you think statistically more people got myocarditis by having the vaccine or not having it?
I think statistically we need to bring
You
it
don't.
back.
You don't know, do you?
Why would I know? Why would I look at the statistics
Why would
and
you bother
studies
to- why
that
would you-
come from the Matrix?
Look at Pierce's face. He knows he
Come
got
from the
him.
Matrix.
He
He's
knows
like,
he's got him.
boy, you're my bitch. You
By
my
having
bitch
the
now.
vaccine or not having it?
I think
Look at
statistically
Pierce's
we need to
face.
bring
You
it
don't.
back.
You don't know, do you?
Why would I know? Why would I look at the statistics
Why would you
and
bother
studies
to- why
that
would you-
come from the Matrix itself?
So the
All
Matrix.
corner
So
of his
every
mouth.
fact you don't like because it doesn't suit your agenda, you just dismiss as Matrix bullshit.
No, I'll give you a very simple way I view the world. COVID can't hurt me. So why
You
would I
view
take
the
the
world.
injection?
You don't have to.
Point two.
You don't have to
They
take
tried
it.
to make us, including you.
Yeah.
You told people
Yes.
they
You know
should
why?
have the vaccine.
You know why?
If they don't have it, they shouldn't leave their house.
You know why? Because at the time, the scientists, and by the way, scientists is ever evolving. At the time I said that, the scientists said if you had
Ooh,
the
wow.
vaccine, it would prevent you transmitting the virus.
The Matrix
That
said
turned out to be wrong,
'Cause the Matrix
and they
lied.
issued updated advice saying
Updated?
further studies said that
Updated?
actually you could transmit it.
Is that
And
what-
at that point, you know what I did, which you never do? I held my hands up and went, I was wrong because the advice changed, and now I would not say the same thing. That is called actually evolving opinions when facts change.
Let me give
That's
you-
actually how a civilized democracy works.
Oh, is it? We live in a civilized democracy.
Ooh. Pierce, damn man, damn you. He just went for the bazooka right now. He's like,
Bring up COVID again,
And I knew-
motherfucker.
motherfucker, bring it up. That was such a smooth transition. That was such a very effective and smooth transition from vaccines to democracy. Like, it was fantastic. Damn.
Fuck, man.
And now I would not say the same thing. That is called actually evolving opinions when facts change.
Let me give
That's
you-
actually how a civilized democracy works.
Oh, is it? We live in a civilized democracy, do we, sir? I actually would argue that point with you for a very long time. I don't think we live in a civilized democracy.
You're
Another
not
point I wanna
able
make
to
here,
argue
if
that
I
point.
had cancer, or if I was at
Argue
threat
it
of a
then.
genuine disease which could actually harm me, would the NHS text me 10 times a day trying to get me treatment, or would I be sitting there waiting for 8
I think the
months
way
to even
the-
get an
I think the
appointment?
way-
They wouldn't care about me and they'd let me die.
The way
so the
the-
fact
Oh god, he's gone nuts. He's just lost it. He's not calm control or anything like it. He's not in control of this conversation. He's just lost it.
He
This
just
is
got
glorious.
he just got shown to be wrong as fuck, and he's exploding over it. Because the
Yep.
thing is it's you
Why
now
are you
he's
licking my
he's
dick?
he's saying we don't have a democracy because a government body doesn't control my every fucking move and force me to get cancer treatments. That's what he just said.
Yeah.
And that they're going to let me die by not forcing me to do something. But he's also at the same time complaining that people were forcing others to get the COVID vaccine.
Vaccine, yeah.
So which is it, Andrew?
Which is it? You
Which
fucking
one's the
moron.
democracy? Do you even know what democracy is? I don't think you
Yeah,
do.
nah. I think so. Remember when once I said that?
I believe what Tate is
Andrew-
doing right now is the technical term on the internet is called spurging out.
Yeah, and also if you remember, I think so some time ago when we were covering Andrew Tate, I had raised the point that he switches definitions or he modifies them in his brain to justify things to himself, and that's what Pierce said right now. The lines are so blurred in your brain, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we
and he's
are.
proving the point by immediately flipping his goddamn lid. God damn, Pierce Morgan, what the fuck? This is
all
so
the
good.
people.
disease
of
which could
all
actually
the
harm me.
people.
Would the NHS
Right?
text me 10 times a day trying to get me treatment, or would I be sitting there waiting for 8
I think the
months
way
to
the-
get an
I think
appointment?
the way-
They wouldn't care about me and they'd let me die.
The way
so the
the-
fact that they
Side note, sorry, I just need to pause one more thing. If you remember what happened last time, Andrew said that what he did when COVID was a thing is he flew to another country and was in Switzerland or Sweden. And which means that
Yeah, something
you
like
didn't
that.
have to take the like he just left. And he was so if he wanted to
Yeah.
get surgery or wanted to get treatments in another country, he has access to
Mm-hmm.
do those things.
Yep.
Which would
still
be the
has access.
democracy thing that he's talking about.
Yep.
Side note, I look like I have a cocaine nail today because my fingernail broke on this side, but not on this side. So now I've got one really long pinky
Yeah.
finger. But that's okay, because my
Yeah,
other
as-
hand is like
as-
that too.
It's the same thing as Shesh. You're doing coke.
So
You know
sad.
why? Because yeah, you have a broken nail. That's why.
Sweden.
What else it could be?
Yeah, obviously. That's called inference, and some inferences are better than others, and sometimes you need more than one.
Will endlessly text me and try and beg me to get this poison. Should have been an alarm bell for anybody with a brain.
Actually, I tell you what the NHS sent me. I'm a 58-year-old man. In the last few months, they've sent me one about a flu jab, which I'm going to have, because I think it stops you getting flu, and flu's nasty. A COVID booster, which I won't have. I think I've had enough of those. I'm fine with that, thanks. They sent me one about having a check for bowel cancer, which I've done and came back negative, and so on and so on. The NHS texting system is for our benefit. You don't have to do it.
doesn't
No
force
one's
you.
holding a gun to your head. The Matrix isn't saying, if you don't have this,
This is
such
that
a
cult
good
thing.
distinction.
Right, this is
This
the
is such a-
cult
no, he
thing.
ma- yeah.
Go ahead. You go first.
He made a good distinction. He's like, you're not being forced to do it. Andrew is trying to put it as that we are being forced to do it. We still have a choice. And for Andrea, who's like so smart and intelligent, to like, if you're going to, are you going to crumble under a few texts? Is that what you're saying? That
He's
you're not a
crumbling
strong
under
of a
being
man?
confronted with his own fucking tweets.
One tweet, two max.
Two tweets so far.
Yeah.
He isn't even getting through the
Yeah.
he hasn't even gotten through the second tweet yet. He only did the first part of it. The other thing on top of this is he's presenting being given information as a negative thing. You still get to analyze that information, decide how much work you want to do investigating that information, choose not to do any research, choose to get it, choose not to get it, but he's presenting being provided the information as a bad thing.
So hold on. So I don't know if the analogy will be correct or not. Just hang in there with me. So being getting messages and all that stuff, you know. So the all the TikToks that promote you on TikTok, and then all the shorts that promote you on YouTube, what the fuck are they? What the fuck are they? That's what I'm saying. Andrew Tate is not outside of the
No,
Matrix. He is
not.
the Matrix, and he is making money off you. We are the ones outside the Matrix. That's what's happening.
Or maybe
As
there's
long
just
as
no
it benefits
Matrix.
him, it's fine.
Maybe there's just no
Yeah, that
Matrix,
also-
and there's a cult, and there's cult jargon mentality being utilized to other everybody outside of the cult, because everybody outside of the cult is part of the Matrix.
Speak fast, speak big words. Oh yeah, they do make a point. That's not how it works. Oh, they're not shouting, and they're using big words, and they're talking fast. Oh yeah, they must be really intelligent. No.
They're very
That's
confident.
not
They
how it
must be
works.
correct.
Andrew Tate, we're gonna do something to you.
Do you have any idea
You're
how
not you've not been treated in Romania by their system because of anything to do with COVID vaccines. And your attempt to try and persuade people that that's the case is ridiculous. And you know it's ridiculous.
Do you have any idea how difficult it was to remain unvaccinated, Piers? Let me tell you from somebody who was unvaccinated
It
and
was so
traveled
hard.
the world. Do you have any idea how difficult
Let
that was?
me
Well, yes,
tell
because
you about
countries
that
have
plan.
border controls.
Oh, because they tried to force
Right.
everybody. So to sit and say they weren't trying to force,
So I guess everybody was colluding together. Every country was like, yeah, we're gonna force people to get the vaccine by having border controls. After he already said that he didn't have to worry about that when he went to Sweden. Dumbass.
Dumbass. Also, notice how he changed from messages to now border control.
Yep.
He's trying to shift the goalposts. Here we go.
you know what they did? They said, come get the COVID vaccine. It's good for you. It's going to help. They tried to coerce you by being nice. They tried to lover boy everyone.
Coerce.
They tried to use the lover boy method to force people to get the COVID vaccine. It just came to we need to
Nobody-
put all these people in jail.
Andrew-
They were being nice to people,
Andrew,
trying to help them.
Nobody,
Unbelievable.
Nobody forced you to have it. Did you have the vaccine?
Absolutely and utterly not, sir. My principles are not for sale. I would have stayed in my house to the
Not
end of
so.
human time and sat there as a pureblood, the last one,
God.
the last pureblood
Andrew.
on the planet before I
Andrew.
inject myself with poison.
You're not making an
Look at Piers Morgan's face. He's like, "Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for
I
the
didn't-
interview." He's like, "Yeah, okay,
I
yeah, we
didn't-
got the money shot."
I didn't mean to turn that off. Let's let this fire burn. Fire burning,
Yes,
fire
dumps the
burning
fire
on the
in the
dance
live chat,
floor.
guys. Come on.
Bro,
come on,
this
let's
man
go
has
for it.
lost his mind. Completely lost his mind. He's barely been confronted with anything, and Pierce has been so nice to him. Holy shit!
And if you notice, Pierce has also raised his voice, but it's not the tone.
It's
not,
even.
and the emotion is not. Yeah, it's not the same as Andrew Tate's. You listen to Andrew Tate's voice, the emotion is quite different. It's frustrating. It's angry. That's what it is. Speedy!
Stayed in my house to the end of human time and sat there as a pureblood, the last one, the last pureblood on the planet before I inject myself with poison.
You're not making an MGM trailer.
Yes, I am, because it's a matter of principle. I am not a farm animal. My blood is mine. It does not belong to the government, and I decide what is in it.
Right. All right. So you have a polio vaccine, but not
Correct,
a COVID one.
'cause- correct.
So your brilliant brain has determined that you know more about the medicinal and scientific benefits of individual vaccines. And the polio one, you decided with your brilliant brain, well, have that. But even though a lot of people, by the way, have had side effects to polio vaccines, did you know that?
Yes, correct.
Is that the Matrix doing that?
No, I didn't say the Matrix gave them the side effect.
Oh.
I've just told you all the reasons I didn't get the vaccine.
Right.
We've already described it at length.
But you work out with your brilliant mind which vaccines to have.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. You do realise
You
that.
can join my email list on CobraTate.com. You can sign up for free, and I'll tell you which vaccine you
I
should.
wouldn't come to you for vaccine advice.
Why?
Andrew? Because you
would.
have zero experience.
I didn't get the
offer me
COVID
any
one.
advice.
I obviously did pretty good. I avoided the poison shot while everyone else got it, so I'm actually pretty proud of my track record.
Yeah, but a lot of people are
Avoiding
perfectly
vaccine?
fucking fine, though. So, like, again, we're back
Yeah.
to my experience is the only one that matters. Therefore, my experience is
My
correct, and you
worldview
should
is
do what
the
I
only
said.
worldview.
Right? That's not how the world. So he's literally like
Because
so
his-
ass deep in solipsism, and everybody else is fake, and I'm the only real thing. Everything else is a figment of my fucking imagination. This is so fucking insane. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Pierce made you his bitch, Andrew. You are now Pierce Morgan's bitch.
He already said that, so you're not a pureblood. You have these other vaccinations. You already
Yeah.
like you
And
just
And he just deflated after that. As soon as Pierce said that,
he's out. Outie 9000. Oh my fucking god.
What happens if you're found guilty of the things you're charged with?
Well, then I'm going to have to go to jail, I assume.
What's the maximum sentence you could get?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I actually did.
Yes, you do.
You've never asked your lawyer.
yes, you do.
It can be between 3 to 8 years, I
Right,
think.
so you do know.
I don't know the maximum.
But if you were to serve 8 years, having served 3 months and know how bad that was,
Yeah.
could you cope with that in a Romanian jail?
Interesting question. Could I cope with it? Yes. Would I be the same afterwards? I'm not sure.
What do you think even the 3 months did to you as a man?
Well,
Maybe stronger,
it
better,
was
faster,
a
harder.
fantastic test from God to make sure I am the man I say I am. Because I think there's a lot of people who speak about masculine excellence who are not the men they say they are. When trouble appears, you often learn that they are nothing but postures. I had nightmares for a very long time. I couldn't sleep. I
Oh my
struggled
God.
with certain things. I would check my bed sheets every single night
Get
for
help.
cockroaches religiously. I had a problem with that. But I never turned to therapy. I never turned to drugs. I understood that all of these things are from God and they're given to me so that I can become a stronger version of myself. And I welcomed
Therapy and
them
drugs
all,
are
and I
equivalent,
embraced
guys.
them all. And now that I'm a better, not completely, but almost better, part of me actually misses my nightmares, Pierce. Part of me misses training all night. I didn't sleep.
He's so
I
weird.
miss being
You said you didn't have
tortured. I'm a
nightmares.
No, I had
masochist.
nightmares. I said I didn't have nightmares in jail.
There are men out there who enjoy being in jail and think it's a good experience that people should have, like Andrew Tate. Therefore, every man should go to jail. There are some women out there that think Andrew Tate's lifestyle that he's proposing to them is a good idea. Therefore, every woman should do it.
God.
This is so
I
bare
think so.
bones, basic bitch ass fucking rhetoric that's like not even good enough to be called an argument. I can't believe that these people think he's smart. I cannot believe that there are people out there who think that this is like high caliber. I cannot believe that there are people that buy into this shit. But I mean, that's what happens when you get seduced, right, by like manipulative tactics.
So I like the fact that like as soon as like Andrew started like screaming and shit, Piers Morgan was like, "Okay, on to the next question."
I've made my point. I've made my point.
And he
Let's
hits
just.
him.
Well, there's something really specific that Piers Morgan asked though. He asked Tate about himself and his experience, which is the thing that Tate loves to talk about the most.
Yeah. And here we go.
When I left, I did. And I kind of miss it because I had so much time in the day to get things done. And now I'm sleeping a full 6 hours. I feel a little bit lazy. So perhaps I need another
6
test from
hours,
God. And
okay.
if God decides, Allah is the best of planners, if he decides I need 8 years in jail, then I will embrace those 8 years in jail and do my absolute best to come out as the most formidable version of myself.
Have you felt suicidal at all in the last year?
I don't believe in suicide. It's haram.
I know, you said that before, but
That's
did
not
you
what he
feel
asked.
Haram?
that you may want to end it all?
Yes, he said, I don't believe in suicide, it's haram. But that's
And,
not what he asked.
for it-
He asked if you felt suicidal, not that you would commit suicide. Those are different things.
And for anyone out there, asking your friend that are you going to commit suicide is not going to what do you say,
Break.
encourage them to do that. It will actually
yeah.
make them stop and think. So, and for that, do ask if you think your friend is like suicidal and you want to work on it, ask them the question, the close-ended question. Are you thinking of committing suicide or are you suicidal? The answer would be either yes or no. If they try to pivot around it, just say, is it yes or no? You ask that. I asked Steve once on in the live stream when he started saying, "Oh, I want to like eat myself off." I'm like, "Are you thinking of killing yourself, Steve?" And he was like, and he tried to pivot around it, and I was like, "Are you?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, "Okay."
I remember this.
So you can talk about suicide. It's okay to talk about suicide, but you need to know how to talk about it.
It's one of those things where it's like if somebody is not doing well, there are very specific ways to have these conversations. And if you're concerned
Yes.
about a friend, one of the best things you can do is reach out to a professional and
Yes.
have that professional speak to the friend, because a lot of times people will accidentally put burdens on their friends who are already feeling a lot of burden. Actually, interesting enough, this is really explored in Doki Doki Literature Club. In Doki Doki Literature Club, it's a horror game. You are playing like a dating sim styled game, and one of the girls, Sayori, one of the first girls you talk to, ends up in the first act dying, committing suicide. And one of the things that you do is you have these options that you can tell her, and if you're like, "Oh, I love you and things will get better, you can rely on me," yada yada yada. Meanwhile, Sayori the entire time is, I feel like I am a burden on my friends. I feel like I'm a burden on the people around me. I feel like I don't want people to care about me. So sometimes, if you are not careful, if you don't know how to approach these situations, you will accidentally put additional pressure and burden on people who are feeling this way.
Yeah.
So the first thing you ought
Yeah.
to do is, if you are concerned about a friend, is reach out to a professional and find out how to approach this friend, or have that professional approach the friend. Work something out with somebody who does know what they're doing. Please talk to people who know what the fuck they're doing.
And make sure that you're safe when you're doing all this.
Yes.
And if you're in doubt, just dial your emergency services number. They should by now, all the first world countries, their emergency services, they are trained to handle these situations. So
You don't have
just
to be
dial
the
that
suicidal
emergency
one to
number.
call the suicide hotline. You can call that hotline and get advice.
Yeah. So
Please
my
seek
keychain
advice.
is actually my keychain is has a text number on it. It's 1737. It's a that's a text service for mental health well-being services. So if you want that in New Zealand, you can just text that number. So yeah.
Anyway, please take a lot of people will talk about what what the person who's not feeling good should do, and don't spend a whole lot of time talking about what you as a friend or you as the external individual can do. Talk to a professional. You can talk to a professional in 17 different angles of approach, and you can work on that as something you can do together. Please just talk to professionals about this kind of stuff. Don't take advice from fucking people on the internet.
No, not Andrew Tate especially. No.
Oh God,
no,
yeah.
no.
I would never kill myself. under any circumstances. So the day they put that on the news, when they finally take me out, you can know it's a lie. It's haram. I would never kill myself. Lock me in that cell for the rest of my life. I would never kill myself.
While you're under house arrest, you tweeted this: avoid women who go to festivals. They're either on some loser's table who's feeding them cocaine or in a crowd of sweaty peasants because they're a sweaty peasant. Endless Instagram stories screaming and having fun to prove to the world they're worthless. Hard pass, festy hoes.
Having fun.
Correct.
How dare
That's
they?
them moping.
Yes.
Again,
That's
why would you
moping, him
categorise all
moping
women
that
who
I'm
go
not
to
out
festivals in
there.
such an unpleasant way?
I actually categorized all men who went to festivals also. Did you read that tweet? Why are you gendering the argument? I think all people who go to festivals are stupid. It is peasantry. I've
Gendering
never
the
been to a
argument,
festival in my
what?
life. I'm not going to stand there and
He's
scream
asking why
and
you're
jump
saying
up
that
and
about
down for some
women.
other human like he's God. I think
Right.
the whole thing is embarrassing, all of it from head to toe. It's all sweaty peasantry and it's all just drug-fueled insanity. So why are you gendering the argument when I insult the women who go to festivals and also the men
So
who
you're
go to festivals,
insulting
because
both men
all
and
of it is
women, okay, who go
peasantry
to
head to
festivals.
toe, and I do not regret it. All festivals are peasantry. Anybody who goes, I do not associate with. I've never been to
But
one
why?
in my life. I never will.
So you've
I
never
am
been
quite
to one. How do
sure
you know
if
what
he
they're
ever
like?
tried
can
to
s-
attend a Taylor Swift concert in the future, he's gonna get thrown out.
Could you imagine that? Andrew Tate's
Oh,
such
yeah,
a
I
big
can.
brain. He bought out all of the Taylor Swift tickets. He's not rich enough. Even if he got all of his assets back, he can't. He doesn't got anything on Taylor Swift.
You can't afford it. Taylor Swift,
No.
yeah, tickets are expensive. Yeah, especially if
My
you're buying
pause
them,
game's
you
on
know.
point.
Yeah.
Head to toe, and I do not regret it. All festivals are peasantry. Anybody who goes, I do not associate with. I've never been to one in my life. I never will.
So you've never been
How
to
do you
one.
know
How do
if
you
you've
know
ever
what they're
been?
I can see enough. I've seen the sweaty bodies bumping into
You've
each
never
other,
been to
high
one.
on ketamine, pretending that the song they heard on the radio at home is now more fantastic because they're listening to it from a loudspeaker.
I get it, but just
it's
to be,
embarrassing.
but to be clear,
That's
you've
not
never been
what
to one.
festivals
Correct.
are only about, you moron. Hold on. It's not just about, you know, oh yeah, I'm going to hear the same song again from the from my favorite artist. It's about supporting your artist too, and music festivals is a way to support your artist.
I love the
Just
idea
don't,
that
don't
Andrew
develop
Tate.
parasocial relationship.
I love the idea that Andrew Tate thinks that the quality that comes out of your radio and your speakers and the processed, like the mixing that goes on for whatever CD, even if you do have like a high quality
And the
version,
censoring
or
that
like
goes
even
on.
a vinyl, and the censoring that goes on over the radio are all good things, and therefore live music is not the same. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of concerts. Live music is great. I'm not the biggest fan of concerts. I don't like the atmosphere very much. I have a hard time getting into the vibe. Like, it's not for me. But I'm not gonna tell people not to go to fucking concerts just because I personally do not enjoy them that much. That's stupid. If I go to a concert, I like to be like sitting at the back somewhere because I just want to sit back and listen, and I don't enjoy the fanfare that goes on around them. Not because the fanfare is wrong or bad. It's just a preference. It's a personal preference. But Andrew Tate is trying to take all of his personal preference, turn them into a moral or a class issue, and then try to impose it on everybody else.
Yep.
My infinite brain that understands vaccines
No,
perfectly
we've
also
established
understands.
we have established your brain is unique.
Correct.
You tweeted a picture of Amanda Holden, very good friend of mine.
You're
It's a
special.
very
You're
harmless
special, my
picture.
boy.
She's
You're
in a
special.
bikini on holiday under a rain shower, looking
When is
extraordinarily
your
beautiful.
live stream
In a
going
sexual
live?
pose.
The next
And
one?
you tweeted, "You are a wife and a mother, and you're far past a
minutes.
teenager. There's no need for this post."
Agreed.
Oh yeah, we need to wrap up. Our video is about to start and premiere.
Yeah.
Should we
So-
come back later? I
Yeah,
don't know
this
what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
got one quarter left.
I think so. We have kind of established a lot of points here. I think so.
Yeah,
this
I don't
part of the
think-
interview.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to
Yeah.
cover. We have other stuff to go on about
No.
too and talk about because we got
Yeah.
it's gonna be time to move on. Specifically because we have a really fun time set up for next time where we have a recording, like a podcast recording interview that has Elon Musk and Alex Jones
And it
and
is.
that rapping person who's trying to be president. We got a lot going on. So we're gonna
Yeah,
head
we want
over.
to hear that.
Yeah, so
Yep.
the video is premiering in like a minute, so we're gonna head over there. If you wanna join us, feel
In
free.
the live chat.
Yeah, there's a side
Putting
chat.
the link in the li-
Yeah, I'm grabbing it right
put
now.
the link in the live chat.
I'm doing that
Yeah,
right
you
now.
got
I have
it.
to pull it up. Jesus Christ, give me a
I'm just
fucking
being a
second.
little
Oh,
helpful,
no, my
that's
God.
all.
Okay, bye.
This is what happened in the background. Bye, everyone. See you on the other side.
Hello.
Welcome back to Don't Affect Friday.
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 It's going to be fun.